How good is your D? Now, I, for one, can speak on Floyd Money Mayweather's D. His defense is utterly impeccable. The guy, I don't care what you think about him. I don't care what you think about his career, what you think about his 50-0. I cannot find anyone else in boxing and striking and mixed martial arts that has better striking defense than this guy. And it's because he has a really good understanding of the fundamentals. And it's because he has an understanding of these three principles that I'll tell you about later that he has gone to become a legend in the sport, basically, right? He's 50-0, guys. I don't care what you think about him, right? I don't care what you think about him outside of the ring. The guy is a killer inside of the ring. And it's because he understands three principles. The first one being that when you're defending, there are three ways of defending yourself. And that's either one, moving the tool, parrying, right? The tool as in their strike, their punch, their cross, whatever it is that they're throwing at you, right? It's moving that out of the way. You parry it out of the way. You snap it out of the way, right? Or two, it's moving the target, right? So the tool is coming straight down the pipe, but what if you just move where your head is? What if you move where the target is? What if you move where your body is and you get out of the way, right? That's the second one. And the third one is, you know what? I see the shot coming right at me, and I'm just going to close the door, right? I see the tools coming right at me. Guess what? I'm just going to close the door. Now, even if you hit me, it's not going to hurt as much as it would before. And sure, these principles are great by themselves, but a lot of times, fighters will only know one of these, right? Either a fighter will get really big on head movement, right? Really, really big on head movement, like I was, right? And I'll just be slipping and dodging and rolling and everything. But sometimes, man, that's not always the answer, because sometimes that means that you're giving up space. Sometimes that's exactly what they want you to do. And sometimes it could also mean that you're gassing yourself out really, really early on because you're just making so much sporadic movements, especially if you're not as experienced as some other guys, right? And sometimes other people will just go all in on parrying, whatever. I don't care what shots you're throwing at me. I'm going to parry all of it. And sometimes you just can't parry every single shot, especially when you're doing kickboxing / MMA, right? Because a lot of times you can't parry a kick sometimes, right? Sure, there's some times where you could, do something like that and parry it, but, a lot of other times in some other situations you can't, right? And then what about blocking? Blocking is really good, but sometimes you kind of see a shot that's like, you know what? I can tell that's going to split my guard. Depending on what your guard is, right? So you just be like, maybe I should use something else, right? Sure, it's good and effective, but maybe I should move my head to it as well, right? And the thing is, man, it's not about doing any one of these, right? It's about doing all three of these that will make you have really good defense, right? And if you really start incorporating this mentality that, I'm not just gonna use my head movement. I'm not just gonna use my parries. I'm not just gonna cover up all the time. I'm gonna start using a variation of all three of these things whenever it is apparent and relevant to my situation in boxing right now, in kickboxing, MMA, striking, whatever it is, right? Whatever it's relevant right now, right? So for example, man, sometimes you can see a cross coming, so you roll it. You use head movement. Amazing. But sometimes he has another punch coming right at you as well, and you're just like, man, you know what? This roll was kind of a bad idea, and you're kind of fucked up right now. So you're just like, man, there's a punch coming right at me. What do? Do I roll again? Okay, well, maybe that's the answer. And maybe it's really right there next to you, and you don't have time. So sometimes you got to cover up, and you just got to take it, right? Or sometimes you get back in that position, and you see, his arm is a little bit farther out. Maybe I could get away with just parrying it, and then I could throw another counter, right? It's about understanding when and where to use it. And a basic principle to understand is mid-range, or let's go with long range first. Long range, you want to parry. You want to move their tool, right? So that way, that way, you're not giving up ground, right? Because in long range, if they were to step in and they would reach you, right? That would mean that you're giving them space. If you're using head movement, you're basically moving and dodging and backing up. You're giving them space, right? You're not being the aggressor. You're not holding your ground. But if you play from long range and you see them trying to step in on you and start getting into mid-range / close range, that's when you start parrying. You know what? I'm not letting you get close because I'm pairing all these shots. Boom, 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 right? But when you're in mid-range, where both of you guys can kind of touch each other, if you so choose to, right? That's when it's apparent to use head movement to slip in and out of shots, right? More lateral work, right? But when you're in close range, that's when it's more apparent that you use a close, tight guard, and you really have your hands really tucked in, right? Your guard really tucked in, so you can do this inside boxing, boom, boom, right? And that's what it is. But obviously, there are definitely like exceptions to the rule. I'm not just saying, these are the rules and you have to stick to it. I'm saying these are the principles, right? They're not the rules, they're the principles. And sometimes there's exceptions to these, right? Mike Tyson, when he's in really close range, he'll still use head movement, right? And I'm not saying don't use head movement. I'm just saying most of the time, especially if you're a beginner, it's probably smarter if you just get in there and you just have a tight guard, right? I'm not saying you can't use head movement. I'm just saying, that it's probably what's best for you, right? If you have a tight guard, right? But yeah, man. With that being said, guys, that was the video. If you guys like this video, I have plenty of other videos like this on my YouTube channel as well, going over fight IQ, going over different kicks you can use, going over fight mentality, going over all sorts of things that is related to striking in general, right? And yeah, man, if you can't find a video on there that can like accurately suffice what you need right now, I also have an Instagram down in the description below that you can click on and you can send me a message for free, and I'll just give you free advice. But if you're someone that's a little bit more determined and you really want to make exponential growth, I have a 6-week long program that will get you from being a complete novice or a beginner to at least an intermediate level fighter in 6 weeks or less. So that sounds like something you're interested in and you really want to make exponential progress in your martial arts journey, especially striking wise. There's a link down in the description below that you can click on and you can book a call with me today. It's free, no pressure, no nothing. I just want to make sure I can be of use to you, right? So with that being said, guys, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.